What's the epistemology
Street,
of what?
street epistemology. So the idea, epistemology is the study of knowledge.
How we know what we know?
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
You're already one step beyond like where most people are.
I've been to a little bit of schooling, so.
Cool. So we ask people what they believe, and you come up with something that you think is true.
Okay.
And then what we do is we talk about the reasons you think it's true, and then we start to dive into what methods are you using to determine those reasons.
Are you guys riding with? You guys want to ride with us?
Yeah. We'll
They're
ride along with us.
Street interview.
Oh, nice. Cool. This is the first time we've tried this on the train. This is a crazy idea I had. We usually do this like
Sitting down.
with all this stuff.
If you want to hop in, you can.
You want to join in? Here, hold on right here.
Okay.
There you go. All right. We are just trying this. This is one big experiment today. So
If we don't know what we're doing, if it doesn't look like we know what we're doing, that's because
that's pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate.
That's right. Cool. So, so what do you want to talk about? Like, tell us something that you believe.
Subject?
What's that?
Explain to him too what you're interviewing and what
Sure.
you're.
What we do is we talk to somebody about something that they believe,
Okay.
and we take that thing, something they think is true. So that's like a true or false claim, right? And then what we do is we look at what are the reasons behind that, and then we start to look at what are the methods you use to determine what those things are that are true. And then we talk about whether those are these methods and whether you would use them other places. And sometimes people figure out, different methods. Sometimes people, figure out it's like, oh, gee, I wasn't using this for wrong reasons, but there's actually a better reason to believe. Or sometimes they find out, oh, gee, my confidence now is lower than this. So we can go a bunch of different ways.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So can you think of something that you, or somebody else think of something that they,
Something
want to talk about?
Something that you believe.
Yeah. We're still trying to figure out how the audio works here. So
Yeah,
excuse me if I
Thanks for
creep
doing
up on you a
I'm
little.
thinking of something. I don't know.
So, if you're not comfortable saying it out loud, there's a different way we could do it, where you don't tell us, and we just talk about the reasons. And so we can do that. It's called a hidden claim. So if there's something that you're not comfortable with sharing, that's fine. We can work with that as well.
I'm trying to think of something that would be a good conversation to like.
Can I clip this on you?
Yeah, sure. Something that would be good to. You have something in mind, John?
Did you just come from church? Do we have a?
You do that.
Yeah, could be something religious. Could be something about baseball, right? If you believe the Mariners are the greatest team, right?
I don't think you guys believe. I know.
We have no dog in this fight, right? So we're not interested in the topic. We're just really interested in the reasoning. So.
Okay, can I do the hidden claim?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
let's do that.
Let's do that.
Let me write it. Should I write it down or something?
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly
I'll write
that's
it in a
exactly
note.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We usually have you do that so that you don't change it
Yeah, like
while you're talking.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So now I want you to think about what's the main reason that you believe this thing to be true, and you don't need to tell me that either if that'll reveal what the claim is. The problem with both the benefit and the drawback of this method, where you don't tell me, is I can't help guide you through the conversation.
Yeah, okay.
You kind of need to do all the work in your head,
that's
right?
good. That's fine.
So do you have like a main?
Do you guys want to see it so you can help me, or
Sure.
I put
Love it.
Love it.
like just something like what I do believe this.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So think about what the main reason is that supports that belief. And first, before we do that, I want to ask about your confidence in your belief. So if on a scale of 1 to 100, like what percentage confident are you that this is true, factually true?
I would say pretty 100.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. 99.999.
I like that, because one of the things that we like to do as skeptics is say, we're never 100% true of anything. And that might show us that our beliefs are really supported by some evidence. And if that evidence were disconfirmed, right, then we might change. So if you're thinking about the main reason, that you believe this thing is true. If that main reason, if you found out that that was not true, or there was doubt in that reason, what would that do with your confidence in the belief?
If I found out the reason I believe that, it would probably undo all of that, possibly.
So you think if that one reason were, like, we found out that wasn't true at all, then this belief would just go away?
Probably.
I do think
Yeah.
there's complexity to it in terms of like I don't know that like any single thing being disproven would disprove my belief, especially when it comes to that value.
Yeah.
You think that's fair?
I think so.
Like there's
So-
more than one. There's more
It's
than
funny
one
how we're-
source of truth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So that's great. So there's always like multiple lines of evidence. So if we take that one piece of evidence away, like then what's your confidence at that point? Does that reduce your confidence?
I'm trying to think of how to answer that. It's funny because we're so abstractly talking about this.
Yeah.
I guess we.
So
could-
I
we
mean,
should-
it's either a yes or a no. So what I'm probing for, just so I'm completely transparent, is the reason that you thought of, is that really the reason that you believe? And if not, if taking it away doesn't reduce your confidence, then that's not really the reason that you believe. So is that something that should we set that aside and look for a different
A different reason? No, I would say the reason I think is. Yeah, I'm trying to I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, it would reduce your confidence?
Well, can you explain what your reason is for your value?
I mean, I think the problem is if he tells what the reason is,
Yeah,
it probably directly
it would
tells
just,
us
like,
what
it
the
directly
value
kinda
is,
It would just
right?
say
Yeah.
because they're
No matter how vague it got,
Yeah.
no matter how
Yeah.
vague the reason is,
yeah.
would not be able to give the reason. It would give it away.
Let's see.
No matter how
I'm
vague.
trying to think
it
of how
got.
vague I could be, if I could be vague enough. I think it's kind of trying to think of how I could give it. Do you think of a way that I could talk about like a reason that you would believe this to be true without giving it away? Also, I could just share it and then we could talk about it. Like I feel like it's not like
It
yeah.
might not be possible to give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's just. I'll show you what I wrote. I just said, all people have value and worth.
Okay.
Like something that I believe.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
Okay. Now, I'm trying to think about that. Like, do you believe that that's a fact or is that an opinion that you hold? Like, I'm trying to think about, like, how would we establish the truth value of all people having value?
yeah. That's a good. I think fact versus opinion. That's a good. I mean.
And we can maybe set that aside.
Yeah.
Maybe we can ask,
Yeah.
and we don't have to go this route.
Yeah.
Do you think everyone has the same amount of value? Because that would be
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Like, if we ask my friend Mo here, Mo has some interesting beliefs. So, Mo thinks people within her tribe have ultimate value.
Right.
But people outside her tribe, maybe not. Like the people over on that other island,
Yeah.
they don't care. Like they'll happily raid over there, they'll steal their sheep and so forth. So Mo doesn't believe. So how could we tell? Like you believe that all people have value. Mo believes only the people in her tribe have value. How can we determine who's right?
Yeah. Well, I think also I think of. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm trying to how I would answer that. Well, I think even the question of right and wrong, like dichotomy versus like, we oftentimes, I think if we were thinking of like what I I believe this as something as like facts or like information to know versus like if I oh yeah, you might be to move.
Don't see anyone out the door.
I think if I if what I believe is something that I think is just like fact or something, but if it's actually something that I'm like living and I'm in experiencing and like in relationship to that,
Yeah.
I think it's different than a fact, true or false. So I would say it's a little bit more than just a fact, true or false. At least from what I would think.
I think I've come up with what's troubling me about the claim.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between saying people intrinsically have value
Yeah.
versus we give people value. In
Yeah,
other
they're
words,
different things.
right?
Yeah, they're
we
different.
believe
Yeah.
they have value because
Yeah.
so it's a subjective versus an objective
Yeah,
claim.
totally.
So
I would agree with that.
which side are you on?
I would
there?
say intrinsically.
Okay, so you think
Yeah.
objectively, like if there was one person, let's say, standing in a field and there was nobody else living on the earth, does that person have value?
Intrinsically.
Intrinsically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what makes you believe that?
I would say I think what would make me I mean, I guess it comes to my core essential more like theologically what I would say like that there's a creator that has like created with that worth and has like given worth to that creation.
Okay, so you believe that because, if man was created by a creator who intended them to have value, that's what gives them value. Okay. So let's look at that, right? Let's look at that and talk and do what we did before. Right? If you found out that wasn't the case. So for example, like we don't have time to go into creation versus evolution and like there's lots and lots of stuff and
Which
conversations
I would say
there.
there's probably both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say it was possible. I'm not saying it is possible, just as a hypothetical. Let's say you became convinced that humans arose by purely natural methods. There was no creator involved. If that was true, again, not saying it's true, just for the thought experiment, if you thought that was true, would that reduce your confidence that humans have intrinsic value as opposed to the value that we imbue it to them?
Trying to think. I think for me it may not, but for most people it probably would.
Okay. So why would it not for you?
Well, I just think like there's still something in like all of what is like the magnificence, I guess is the word of like the possibility and the beauty of what that could be of a creation still points to something beyond us. It still points to something of like wonder that is possibly a creator if it's not, you know what I mean? So it's still beyond, and so there's still some innate beauty and value in all of that.
So I think in our hypothetical we're saying, right, there's no design. Let's just hypothetically there's no design. Again, I'm not asking you.
That's fine.
Your belief is important to you, and I understand that. So I'm not asking you to let go of the belief, right? Just as a hypothetical, if you didn't believe that there was a design for things, then do you think humans would have intrinsic value?
I think so, but I think many people would not say that because they probably haven't thought about like what the grandiose of like just the fact that like this exists points to something of value and beauty, even if there isn't a creator beyond and outside of that.
I feel like I can add on to that.
Yeah.
Like the fact that people have education or like an education that's different than any other thing on earth. Like I feel like that adds value already. Like there's nothing comparable to humans yet.
Like the consciousness
yes,
and
right.
The ability to act
the ability to Yeah.
Yeah.
Points towards something.
So let's go back to Mo on her island. Mo's tribe also believe that humans are absolutely the most valuable thing. Beauty and wonder, the magnificence of the world, right? They see the web of life and everything. It's incredibly beautiful. They also value humans, but they think that they value humans because they know that they live in a tribe and they all have to support each other, and they are humans, so they have to prioritize human life. And it's absolutely the right thing to protect each other and to protect. They even go as far as to say that all animals on the island are sacred, right? And they have to protect all the animal life. So, how would we tell whether Mo's reasons for believing in the value of human life and your reasons for believing in the value of human life? How could we test that to kind of figure out which one is more likely true?
I don't know.
That humans are more valuable than animals?
No, like how could you test the different
the reasons. So most reasons are because humans are, they're humans and they need to protect each other in order to live. And your belief that we're intrinsically valuable because a divine creator gave us life and values us, right? So anyway, I think that's a great point to wrap up and something for you to think about. Cool. And we're just getting to stadium, so that's going to be good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, tell me your name?
Josh.
Josh, I'm Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this is David.
David.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
We have, if you want to remember this, this will probably get edited and up on David's YouTube channel. It's called Sound Epistemology.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want
I was
to
gonna
watch for
ask
that.
what the handle would be.
I like this QR code ready to go.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, usually if he's sitting down or if we're sitting down, we've got a little table tent that says YouTube interviews and it has the QR code there and everything. So, all right.
Well,
Hey, have a great game and what's that? Go Phillies! All right.
No.
Go Phillies! Hey, I'm a football fan, not a baseball fan, so I'm down for that. My family actually comes from Philadelphia originally, so yeah.
I would have taken it.
All right, cool. Good to meet you too. All right. So, excuse me. We will go tap out and then,
Yeah, I probably need to reset.
yeah, we can reset and we can do a quick debrief and then get back on.
Perfect. So we have to tap it again, huh?
What's that?
So we have to tap it again, huh?
Yeah. Yeah,
Until
tap off.
110. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. What
Well,
that
it's
does.
still 110 either way.
It's still
seems
110
like.
either way. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that just tells you for that reservation how long it was good for.
Cool.
Awesome. That went about as close as possible to what I imagined as possible. Oh, I should turn this off, right?
No, leave it on.
Oh.
We're debriefing.
Oh, okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
And
So here's
to make it easier, you can just leave that on unless it's really uncomfortable.
okay. No, that's fine. So yeah, you let me know if I need to manage it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I won't. So here's where I think hidden claim in that conversation probably had a lot of value, and we lost the value when he told his claim, because I know so much about that topic that I started in my opinion started to come into it.
You recognized your bias?
Yeah.
Possibilities?
I was trying to cheat outside, to let him know, hey, we're not trying to question your beliefs, but also I know so much about how to lead that topic that, I started doing that, right? Like, how might you have approached that differently?
Well, I tried. Try to be as vague as you can.
Yeah.
And what he could have said was my religion, my theological beliefs, which is
Yeah.
what he ended up saying. But that might have been, okay, why is someone's theological beliefs a good reason to be 99.99%, whatever he said it was,
Gotcha.
and why aren't you 100?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
keeps you from being at 100? And why is that a good reason to keep someone from going all the way to 100? Like,
Yeah.
why are these things good things to rely on.
Yeah.
I thought it was good though. I thought
it went really well. They were great. The fact that there were multiple people contributing codification didn't hurt.
Yeah.
It actually kind of helped a little bit. He got to that I don't know point, right? He got to that kind of moment. I'm not sure if it was legitimate aporia, but it is at least, he got to the point where he was like, oh, okay, I don't know, great. That's a great place to wrap it up. And it was right when we were getting to the station, which was
perfect.
Which was perfect. But yeah, I did feel like I kind of showed my hand, and it turned into a little bit of a debate. More than just an epistemology conversation. I felt like I felt a little guilty for saying, because I started doing exactly what I would do in a debate. It's like, what more? I mean, it's sort of the same conversation. Is if your reasons are that you believe, it's not a dichotomy, but it's two different points of view. One point of view is somebody created us, and so we have innate value because they think we have innate value, or we have innate value because we think we have, right? So there's somebody's subjective point of view. How do you determine which one is true? And I think it's hard to get further with that conversation without attacking the fundamental truth claim, right?
Right.
Because it basically comes down to, is there a God who created us, or is there not a God who created us? Right. At the end of the day, that's like if you do 5 whys, right? That's what you get down to. Right? It's like if there is a God that created us, then everything goes down one track, and if there's not a God who created us, everything goes down another track, right? And how do you choose, right?
As far as this particular value that they have.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what do you think is? Do you think he's gonna, or what do you think he's thinking about right now, if anything?
So here's something that when we initially engaged him, and he was sitting there with his girlfriend and his, whatever, the friends or family that he was with, I think the reason we wound up with hidden claim was he was embarrassed about having this conversation in front of his family, and I think there was a lot of social pressure there for him to not reduce his confidence. So when I did the hypothetical, it's like, what if the reason wasn't true? If you became convinced the reason wasn't true, would it reduce your confidence? He started looking at them, and I definitely got I don't know what he was thinking, but the vibe I got was, oh shit, I can't say I would reduce my confidence in front of them, because we're all in the faith, and they're
back to the performance thing that we were talking about before we got on the
exactly.
Yeah. Another approach would be like, you don't have to tell me what the claim is. You don't have to tell me what the reason is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know why you think that reason is a good reason.
Yeah.
I think that's the nutshell SE question that we all want to get to.
That. Yeah.
So that might have been a way to. Another cool thing about hidden claim is that you can do it with a group.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has their own claim that they're thinking about in their head, and you're asking the same questions. To, like, how confident are you? Why aren't you at 100?
Mm-hmm.
Why is your reason a good reason to think what you think?
Yeah.
And everybody can explore their own claim in their own head. Of course, it's going to go better than other times, but it's one tool in your toolbox that you can use. It's not necessarily appropriate for every situation.
Yeah.
And there's some situations where, like, that would definitely be something I would do, like take the rambling preacher that has the script down, memorized. Well, if they can't rely on their script because they have to keep the claim hidden, they have to think of other ways to explain it to themselves.
Yeah. Well, I was happy that Josh was willing to, when he did reveal the claim, he didn't go to script, right? He was still willing to have a conversation, an intellectually honest conversation, to a degree. But I did feel like there was that protection around that central claim behind his claim, right? It's like, oh, okay, I can't let this get assailed, right?
And if he were alone,
yeah,
how do you think it would have gone differently?
I think I would guess that we wouldn't have needed to go to hidden claim. He would have started out with the original claim, and I feel like he would have been more willing to kind of deal with the hypotheticals. I feel like those were the things where, he didn't want to do that in front of his family.
Okay, so what does that tell us about hypotheticals in a group situation like that?
I mean, it depends. I don't think it tells us anything about hypotheticals in general. To my mind, what it does is it tells us a lot about religions that have group dynamics around protecting the belief.
Yeah.
Right? So when you have a bunch of people around here and there's social pressure to maintain the belief, right?
Yeah.
Then that kind of gets in the way of talking about the reasons.
Assuming they all share the same belief.
Yeah. Well, it was clear in this situation they did. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you want to try to get another one?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Anything
let's
else
do
you
it.
want to say about this one?
No, I don't think so. I think, well, actually, let's talk about the tech and what we did. Okay, okay, good. You did get anything off the seat. I was just like, oh shit, did we leave that?
And I got his.
Yeah, good. What would you change about what we did technically, or do you not know until you, like, for example, review the audio?
I mean, we're gonna have what we're gonna have.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, do you think there's tweaks we can do now that'll make it better for the next chat?
I think I may have had them help me hold one of these things because there were so many people.
Yeah.
I may take advantage of that
Yeah.
next time.
Oh, I'm sure they seem like they would have been open if you'd handed one of them the recorder and said,
Yeah.
hey, could I use a tripod and
But
pull this out?
I don't think that I could have done anything. Like a tripod would not have helped.
Yeah.
Everything was actually rolling. I think even my head cam is still rolling, which
Good.
Yeah, that's a good sign that everything's working.
Yeah.
That I can tell.
I did notice the camera orientation changed a few times, so I was wondering if we actually got what we actually got. But we'll find out.
That won't matter.
You'll find out in post, right?
That won't matter because
Yeah.
it films everything except for right underneath it.
Oh, okay.
And then you just frame it wherever you want. Now the
Right.
stitch line,
Yeah.
that can make a difference.
Yeah.
But that's why I try to have each lens facing a person like I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Because right here is the stitch line, here and here. And so that's not important right now, but I can frame you very nicely. I might be too close to it, to be honest with you, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can do anything else differently.
Cool.
But I can tell.
Yeah, the one thing about, there's certain phraseologies that you use that I want to learn and I keep not getting them, which is the one you use that unwraps one more layer, which is, why is that a good reason to believe what you believe?
Yeah.
And I
That's
keep
what I
keep
wanna know.
forgetting that, right? And so I'm trying to get to, I'm getting to the reasons, I'm not really getting to the method. So I need one more layer of unwrap
Why they
when I walk through
why
that.
they think it's a good reason.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm not remembering in the moment that I always remember when we debrief, and I always remember when you say it, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. That's the thing I'm working on in my study of SE, is getting that one thing. And there's just particular turns of phrase that I think if I work those into my lexicon, right, that's gonna be my verbal cue to get there. So I think that really helps.
I think it's beneficial to explore that because then they can apply that to other reasons.
Yeah.
And it's not just about this one claim.
Right.
Whether or not that one claim informs all other claims.
Yeah.
But quality of the reasons.
Yeah.
If they're using good reasons, I want to know.
Yeah.
And being open to being convinced
Yeah.
that their reason is a good reason to be as confident as they are.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Not only is the question, why is this reason a good reason to believe this?
Go Mariners.
Why is this reason a good enough reason to be as confident as you are?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the best moments I think in that was when I asked him, right, would you, if hypothetically this reason you became convinced it wasn't true, would that reduce your confidence? And that was the time that he squirmed, and that was the time he started looking at his family.
Yeah.
Right.
For reassurance.
For it's like, oh shit, no, it's like he was recognizing the social pressure that was on him, right? And so that's the moment when when he said, well, it would probably reduce the confidence for someone else, but not for me, right? So there was kind of like a little special pleading there,
Right. Gotcha.
right? And that's the point where I think he recognized, like I guess for lack of a better word, the trap, or the implications of that belief. Yeah, a little bit of cognitive dissonance, because I kind of got that he was squirming because he was saying, oh, it might for someone else. And I was wondering if he was thinking, oh, yes, it would, but he couldn't, but the not for me was for his family, right? So I'm hoping that was kind of like adding a little bit of...
That's my hope for what's happening in his brain right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether he's talking about it or not.
Right.
Just thinking about it.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. Nice
Cool.
work.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was. Thank you. Now, we could walk over to the stadium and see what's happening out there. I'll bet there's like vendors outside and people just hanging out, and there might be something to get there. Or we can keep with the train thing. I mean, I'm loving the train thing. I'm wondering how much, but I'm wondering if there's an opportunity over there too. So my mind's in two directions. Like,
Yeah. The background noise.
yeah, I love the crying child.
Yeah,
and
that's
all this stuff.
challenging.
It's going to be, it'll be interesting to see. But this is why we do experiments, right?